Hi Pisces, welcome to your July 2020 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details there. As far as what's in front of us, this is what I call the bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. The cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection, and they're the past energies, present energies, future energies. Once we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. And as far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind this is a general reading, so while I'm going to refer to the cards on the left as your energy, if you feel more like the cards on the right represent your energy, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, starting with the past energy on your side, we have the Seven of Coins. So this is the equivalent of the Seven of Pentacles, and that's Taurus energy, which for you guys represents your house of communication. Now, I could see this going a couple of ways. One way it could be saying is maybe you might have found their communication toward you to be a bit immature, because if we look at the two people in the card, it looks like she's kind of looking down at this person, and it definitely looks like a young child. For others of you, this could just be saying that you might have been considering whether or not you want to continue to invest in a connection or not. And it could even be because maybe there's been some discussion as to whether or not you guys wanted to have kids or not. In the past position on their side, we have the stars. So this is actually Aquarius energy here. So this could be pointing to a few different things too. For one, it could just be saying that they might have viewed this as the real deal type of connection. You know, you might have been their wish fulfillment in a certain way. So we could definitely see a difference in the energies in that regard, where, like I said, maybe you guys didn't feel like they were mature enough in some cases, whereas for them, it looks like they feel like you're definitely the real deal for them. Another way this could come off too, though, could just be saying that maybe it was their approach where they might have tried to, come across a bit nonchalant, but I feel like if that's the case underneath it all, they really did see a lot of value in you. It just might have been that they gave you a bit of a detached vibe that you couldn't really read, so you weren't necessarily sure how they were feeling about the situation. And for some of you, that could also be because maybe they were going through a healing process recently. All right, the present energy on your side, we have the Four of Cups. So this is actually Cancer energy here, which represents your fifth house of romance, creativity, and again, children. And Mercury will be retrograde. Well, actually, it's a retrograde right now as we speak, but it's going to be retrograde until around, I think, the 12th of July. And then it'll be pretty much in shadow for most of the rest of July. So this could just have you reevaluating those areas of life. So again, romance, and for some of you also children. But here with the body language, I mean, she's faced away from the cards on that side. So it could just be saying that she might have actually decided to walk away from this connection, whether this was someone who you've actually built history with or not. Looks like it could just be saying that you've moved away from that connection, and it could be saying one of two things here, where maybe this is saying you moved away from them and maybe now you're getting offers from other people, but maybe you're not really fulfilled with those two. Or it could just be saying that you're reevaluating whether or not you do want to proceed with this person. Present energy on their side, quite a few cards came up. We have the Fool, the Knight of Chalices, and the Eight of Wands. So the Fool is pretty straightforward as far as it represents usually taking a leap of faith, usually represents a fresh start as well. And with the Knight of Chalices, that actually represents Pisces energy. So it could just be saying that they could be approaching to have a fresh start with you and, take a lot of action toward that, communicating with you about it a lot. And also, since Sagittarius energy for you guys represents your 10th house, I feel like, again, this could be them trying to get something pretty serious off the ground with you. For a small group of you, this could just be saying that it might actually represent that they're walking away from you. The only reason I say that is just because of the body language, which could be saying that, they could walk away from you, given that this represents your energy. but I feel like that's a lot less likely. I feel like this is just saying that they're going to take a chance. Maybe if you guys live at a distance from each other as well, this could just be saying that they might be planning to come see you. And again, I feel like discuss actually taking things to the next level. All right, future energy on your side, we have power. So this is actually the equivalent of the Emperor card in traditional tarot, which is Aries energy. So this could just be pointing to a couple of things. For some of you, this could just be saying that you might really focus on your finances instead of even worrying about the love situation. And I mean, that can make sense in a way as far as Mars recently moved into. Actually, did it move there yet? It's close. It's either just moved there or will soon. But Mars is pretty much going to be in Aries the rest of the year because it's going to eventually go retrograde. So, of course, that could just give you a lot of focus on your finances in that regard. But for others of you, this can just be pointing to the fact that maybe you guys actually do get on the same page and step up, and they might actually offer you a more stable commitment that you're looking for, especially if the storyline fits for you guys where you felt like in the past they just didn't seem to present themselves in a mature enough way for your liking. So you might have thought, I don't know if I could take them seriously. It looks like that does say that they would be stepping up in that regard. And the future energy on their side, we have Judgment, Seven of Swords, the Empress, and the Knight of Pentacles. So a whole lot of energy here. The Judgment, again, that represents a fresh opportunity coming back around from the past. And like I said, we are going to have Mercury retrograde. It's currently retrograde in your fifth house, will be halfway through July as well. So this could just be saying in that regard that maybe that's what's going to bring them back around for a second chance. It looks like there might still be some kind of a disconnect between the two of you, though, with this energy here. Seven of Swords a lot of times points to deception, but in this deck in particular, I don't really feel like it's deception. It's really just more of a disconnect, where you guys just might have different approaches to things. And then we do see the Empress after that. So could be a lot of communication there. And I really feel like for a decent portion of you, this is actually going to be centering around children. Because like I was saying, that energy in the past there. And then looking at the Judgment card here, in this deck in particular, with the actual child there. I mean, technically there's a kid in the regular Judgment card too, but the way it looks like he's tying the two of them together could just be saying that, maybe some of you already have a child with this person. That's a possibility as well. Maybe that's what brings the two of you back together. But in a weird way, I feel like this is saying that, you guys actually might be fated for the two of you to have a child together. And maybe if one of you doesn't want that, of course, obviously that would be a problem. But with the Empress here, keep in mind that that definitely does point to the opportunity for that to come up. So if you are, sleeping with this person, keep that in mind that that's a possibility with this energy that I'm seeing. And then the Knight of Pentacles, given that this is Virgo energy, which is your opposite sign, it could just be saying that they might make a offer of stability to you. And for some of you, this could just say that it might take until Virgo season for them actually to officially do that, but that's what I'm seeing there. See if anything else comes to mind. I mean, that was already plenty, but let's take one more look. Yeah, that's why I think we covered everything there. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have Desire. This is actually the equivalent of the Chariot. So again, more Cancer energy. So I feel like this period with the Mercury retrograde you guys are experiencing is going to be pretty important as far as you guys, maybe, like I said, for some of you might have dismissed this person. Now you might be reconsidering that. That's one way it could play out. For others of you, it could have just been that there was distance between the two of you. And maybe now you guys are actually able to see each other. That's another way that could be playing out as well. Chariot does represent victory too, and then obviously in this deck it's called Desire, so maybe this is just a matter of, like I said, maybe you feel like they weren't offering enough in the past, and if that's the case, I do see energy that seems to support that they would be actually stepping up the level of the offer. So that definitely seems positive in that regard. And then bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Three of Chalices. So this is actually Cancer energy here, represents the middle 10 degrees of Cancer. So there could definitely be some significance around, let's say, the first 10 days of July, give or take a day or two on either side. And then what always sticks out to me in this deck in particular with the Three of Cups is that egg representing fertility. So again, another indicator that, if you guys aren't looking to get pregnant, there seems to be a few indicators that that could happen. So just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, aside from that, it just goes to show, for me anyway, it looks like they have a lot of passion toward the connection and they see some longevity and potential with it. All right, we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see if we get anything from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. I did pre-shuffle the deck, and what I'm looking for here is just some jumpers. First, I'll be looking for unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. And if I shuffle for a while and nothing comes up, I'll just take that as a sign to move on to the next Oracle deck, since it's just a general reading. But we'll see if we get anything. Like I said, first we're looking for messages from you to them. Okay, nothing coming up yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles. Alright, nothing there, so next we'll see if we have any unspoken messages from them to you. Okay, seems like nothing coming up there either, so give it a few more shuffles. Alright, so next we'll move on to the Wisdom of the Oracle deck right here. Same situation, I did pre-shuffle this deck, but here I'm just looking for one card, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, I'll give this a few more shuffles, and if nothing comes up, I'll just pull a random card, but we'll see if we get a jumper first. Alright, so let me just put the deck down, and we'll pull a random card. Okay, we have Truth to be Told. There's the artwork, and the number is 14. So we'll see what that has to say. Okay, it says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. The Oracle's message: there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and Spirit will answer with miracles. So definitely a pretty positive message there. And like I said, it could just be as simple as, if for some of you, if you feel like the way they communicated, you didn't feel like the offer might have been mature enough, then you might just have to speak up about that and maybe ask them, hey, what are you really looking for? For others of you, like I said, if this is around children, maybe you guys have a disagreement around whether or not to have children. Looks like you might have to discuss that as well. But hopefully that resonated. And the relationship message says, people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So yeah, another indicator there. And that definitely seems to make sense too, as far as traditionally with the Four of Cups, not in this deck in particular, but usually when I see the Four of Cups, it's usually that energy where um, someone's being offered something and they're not necessarily happy with it, but at the same time they're not communicating that they're not happy with it, or communicating what they do want for that matter. So that could be just the energy that you guys are in now, and maybe it could be that full moon eclipse in Capricorn around the 5th that might bring things up in that regard. Maybe you guys might start communicating around that time. But we'll wrap up there, guys. Hopefully that resonated with you, and I'll see you guys next month. All right.